Okay guys, in this tutorial we're gonna learn about functions. Functions are very easy to understand. They're like worker in company, and that worker is a specialist. It will do one thing good and nothing else. So in programming languages we have a benefit of creation of hundreds or thousands or couple of them if you need them, those specific pieces of code that will do one thing only and nothing else. So they are functions. Exactly in C and C++, where you're going to create them. We're gonna create them outside of main function. Okay, outside, like here or down there, and then we will use them inside the main. So that's the rule. Okay, let's create one function. First, we must state here what is return type. Yes, return type. This is new terminology. When we are creating variable, we are stating that, for example, for number, this is integer. But your function can produce some kind of results. This is why you need to state return type results of that function. Do you want to have it? And if you do want to have it, what kind of return type it will be? Now this function that we are going to write will just print stuff on a screen. So we must type void as quote return type. Void means nothing. Practically speaking, void means do stuff now, okay, without returning something to outside world. So enough chit chatting, let's just type stuff. So void, see the blue color means this is part of programming language, and then name of that function, for example sum function with this type of parenthesis, because in here we can put food that function will process. This is why we need them. This is how to easily visually recognize functions in bunch of code, not just in C but also in many programming languages. So this is, let's say, quote return type. This is name of function, parentheses, we must type them in all programming languages, and then operation. But operation must be, there must be some kind of boundary between operations and the rest of the stuff, so we're gonna use curly brackets, okay? So in here we're gonna have just a simple operation of direct printing on a screen. This is void as quote return type. So printf, like something silly to understand, easy, I am from some function, and then new line. Okay, when we run this script, this code, nothing's gonna happen because we do have function 1 or 10 or 1000 in dedicated file, but we are not using it. It's not enough to have it, we must use it, because if you don't use it, you lose it, as Jim Rohn say often. Okay, so let's do that. Some function, this is function call. Is it enough to type just that? No, you must use parentheses, because remember, a little bit later we're going to learn how to put stuff in here in the middle. So some function, and because this is individual instruction, semicolon. So let's run this code, and we're gonna have result on a screen. I am from some function. This is very easy thing to remember, I think. So return type, because we are not returning anything to the rest of the script, rest of the world, we are saying void. Void means do something now, and printing printf means, yeah, I'm gonna directly right now print stuff. So name of function, this type of parentheses, and operations goes inside this like border, like boundary, curly brackets. And that's not enough. If we need function, that functionality, we must call function with stating name and parentheses and this semicolon. Right. How many times you can call this function? Well, it's totally up to you. So we will just going to call it like, I don't know, 3 times. There you go. But some people will say, well, wait a second, why I don't write function that will call function? Can we do that? Yes. So we're gonna simplify our life. For example, I'm gonna copy this line, these lines, to save a little bit of time. This will be, I don't know, like caller, and task of this caller will be to call this function 3 times. So yeah, I don't want to type too much, so I will just copy paste from here to here, Okay, so I don't need this line anymore, these lines. And now we need to call caller. This is like a man in the middle. Or, yeah, let's give it a date name. M-I-T-M, caller or man in the middle. So how to activate these? Well, we are just going to call caller. Okay, and semicolon, because this is individual instruction. And now we're gonna have 3 times call to this function. There you go, very simple stuff. Well, some people will say, well, can we create like a very, very fast and brief calculator like with integers? Well, sure, let's do that. Again, this is very simple operation of arithmetic. So void simple calc, that will be name of our function or of our dedicated worker, let's say. And then in here, we can state not just operation, but bits that will get into operation, like integer x. There are better ways, don't worry, we're gonna talk about that too. Let's just stick with this. So integer x will be 10, integer y will be 20, and we're gonna have result, which will be, of course, integer. How we are going to get it? Well, x plus y, right? So let's print it now. Print that result on a screen directly. We're gonna have a little bit of this header, okay, and just to visually differentiate, there is semicolon here, and I'm gonna copy paste one more time for visual reasons, aesthetic, I think. And in here we are just going to say result as a part of a custom report and concatenate that with a format specifier, which is integer, which means %d, and concatenate that with actual results. Okay, so is that enough? No, we must call that function. So let's call it down there. For example, we'll say simple calc with a parenthesis and a semicolon, and now we're gonna see 30 on a screen. So you will not see this, there is no need to print this, this is inside function. We just care about results directly on a screen. Let's do that. And there you go. Oh, it's messed up because I probably don't have n. Oh yeah, I don't have n. Always forget that thing. /n, and that will work. Okay, so I think that you get the point here pretty much. Okay, so let me repeat that one more time. Void means do something now. No classical return type as a character integer to rest of the world, just direct printing as we have here. So name of a function, parentheses for food, curly brackets for boundaries, and inside that, let's say, border, we're gonna have some operation, and then we call it down there inside the main, and we get the result. So yeah, we're gonna learn about integers and chars and stuff like return types, but in a dedicated tutorial, because you must grasp this, okay? So this function will call previous function to save to you a little bit of time, and this is very crude, very rudimentary, but good for understanding calculator. Yes, we can have variables inside and direct results, but a little bit later we're gonna learn a smarter way how to work with food for any kind of function. So these functions are our own, we create them, but there are functions like printf built inside the programming language. For example, we can run a Windows application through our C program, C script, let's say. So how we are going to do that? Well, let me put this into comments. We can call function name the system. This is part of programming language, part of actually headers up here, and this function demands something as input, and that is target. Target in this case will be calculator inside the Windows, because we want to run it through our own, let's say, program. So will this work? Let me test that. Okay, there you go, there is a calculator. So our calculator is rolled was run with the help of this system. This is function built inside the C programming language and also inside the C++. It is found in headers of our programming languages. Some people will say, well, can I create our own function that will call C function? Yes. So let me do that right here, like void. How we are going to call it? I don't know, like call app, let's say. And then in here, we're actually going to system, which means run stuff like you are typing that inside a DOS. So we're actually going to ping Google from here. Ping Google, okay, and semicolon. And also let's put this into comment section just for your reference, which means that, yeah, let's change this to ping Google. It's better to understand it like that. So ping Google, we are going to call it ping Google, parentheses, and that's that. Now we're gonna see DOS screen on our screen pinging with the 4 packets Google service, I think. Yeah. So this is Avast always creating me some stuff, but there you go. You see the point here. Okay. So I think this is a long tutorial, maybe longer than I thought, but you get the point. That's the most important thing. Okay, in the next tutorial we're gonna talk about functions more, and we're gonna learn where to create them, because there are other options, and how they can process real data and return it to the rest of the world, how to take parameters, food for functions, and so on. But about that in future tutorials. Thank you for watching. Share this channel with other people. You're gonna help me, you're gonna help them. And yeah, see you next one. Ciao.